So hi guys, very good evening. Uh, Let me introduce about myself. My name is Ruthvi. I do have around 15 years of experience in the field of data science and AI. So I worked with a number of startups. I worked with a number of MNCs, starting from your IBM to Microsoft. Okay, I have been advisor to a number of edtech industries, and I have been with your Apshala from past 2 years. Uh, I have hundreds of students, from both IT and non-IT sectors, and almost most of my students, they are working in big companies as a data scientist, and also basically, they have their own firms, data science firms. Basically, I'm also advisor for a number of data science startups where I will help them to build their own AI products. Okay, this is very small information about myself. Just I want to know, I want to just engage, I want to know more about the audience here. Let me start with Arvind. Hi, Arvind. So, may I know more about yourself?
Uh, Hi, Rutu. Actually, I'm Arvind. I'm working as a animation artist. I have like 8 years of experience.
Okay.
I'm from Bangalore only. Just, I want to know more about data science. Like, I'm planning to switch my domain. So that's the reason I'm attending this demo.
Great, great. Right. So, Arvind is from animation industry, right?
Yeah, animation.
Animation, right. So, next, can you know who is this with? I'm not able to see the name. There is some number display. 02 MS. Yes.
All right, possibly I've not changed that. My name is actually Deva Prasad,
Hi, Dev.
and hi. Well, Ritik, I must tell you, I have an experience about 5 to 7 years into sales and marketing entirely,
Okay,
into
great.
multiple industries, maybe education and um, multiple others also. So, but then my education was completely into tech, so I did my BCA, then MSc in data science. So right now I'm in a job hunt, and then I'm also looking forward to upskill through data science again.
Great, great. Great, Dev. Yeah. Nice, nice. Yeah. Next, Mukesh.
Hi, myself Mukesh Juyal. I'm having 10 years of experience in IT industry.
Great.
Okay. So I'm having experience in IT about different type of databases like HANA, Oracle, different
Great.
type of languages I have learned about. Okay. So I am a little bit inclined toward data science. So
Great.
for that,
Great.
I am attending a session.
Great, great. See, obviously, you are from data background, so
Yeah.
I think you have experience on your HANA. You have
Yeah.
experience on your SQL database. Yeah,
Right.
it is
Right.
very good advantage that you do have. You are getting into your data science. So in this demo session, even we'll discuss more about that. Yeah, great,
Okay.
great. Fine. Then Ananda. Hi, Ananda. Can I know more about yourself, Anand? Can you unmute yourself? Hello. Hi, Anand. Okay, I think Rahul. Hi, Rahul. Rahul. I think Jayant. Hi, Jayant. Can I know more about yourself?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, hi Ritu. Hi guys. Yeah, I'm basically from Bangalore and have
Great,
overall of 13 plus years of experience in IT.
great, great.
And my role is more into something as end user computing engineer.
Okay,
Yeah, so I deal with tools such as SSCM, Intune, and all those things. So, and
okay.
I thought of upgrading myself, and hence I am here.
Great, 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 Jayant. Yeah, fine, fine. So, I think Rahul and Anand, if you are able to interact with me, I think you can put the chat window. I think they are busy in some work, right? So let us get their profiles later. So, thank you guys. Very good evening, and welcome to this session, demo session on your data science and AI. See, one thing you should understand, before getting into data science, see, you people are from different backgrounds. So here we have people from IT background, right? Okay. a non-IT background, right? So generally, for example, Aravind is from animation. He's from completely non-IT background. Okay. And, we have another candidate who is from IT background. We have few candidates who are from database background, IT background. See, one thing you should understand regarding your data science is not a single unified platform in your industry. Okay. See, if you tell that I'm very good in machine learning, I'm very good in data analytics, okay, I'm very good in generative AI. Nowadays, I see most of the students, they are doing generative AI and they are coming to the interviews, but they are not getting selected. Why? Because data science is not an old subject. I mean, it's not a new subject. Okay. So basically it is a old, very old, as old as your statistics. So when I talk about your statistics, I can go back 50 years back, right? So it's a very old technology. It's a very old mathematical technology from which your data science has been derived. Okay. If that is the case, data science has not came to the industry recently. It has been existed in the industry from the last many years, but due to the advent of data, see, many companies nowadays, I can say, because of internet only, there is a lot of demand for your data scientists. Why? Because most of your organizations, they started getting the importance of the data with the help of their applications. For example, you take e-commerce industry, right? So whenever I talk about e-commerce industry, 99% of the business of the e-commerce industry will go with the help of their applications, especially their mobile applications. For example, you take Flipkart, you have app, Amazon, you have app, Zepto, you have app. 99% business of this e-commerce industry, the data collection will happen through the apps, right? So if that is the case, okay, when the data is getting dumped every day, chunks of data is getting dumped every day in your industry, then I should take some decisions on the data. Where is my sales of the company? What is my sales of the company over the next few years? Whether I will be profitable in the next few years or whether I'll be in loss. Who are my competitors? How can I conduct better competitive analysis in the market? How can I be competent in my market? So all these decisions can be realized with help of my data. So companies started realizing the importance of data. Then they started thinking about your data science and artificial intelligence. Okay. So I should say thanks to your internet, because of internet applications, previously 20 years back, 10 years back, there is a lot of demand for your Java, .NET and all, right? Now, most of the people still there is a, I can say it is a, I can't say these technologies are absolute. They are still existing in the industry. Okay. For example, few students are working on database technologies like SAP HANA. Some students are working on backend systems like system engineering, right? So some students are working on mainframe, some students are working on testing department, some students are working as animation engineer, some students are working on sales and marketing, right? So all these technologies permanently they'll be existing. But what you should understand here, whichever technology you take, whichever the area or domain you take, whether you take, whether you take your manufacturing industry, okay, whether you take your manufacturing domain, okay, whether you take your automotive domain, whether you take your banking sector, okay, whether you take your HR, human resource, healthcare, right? So if I talk about domains, if I go on talking about domains, okay, there are a lot of domains. There are hundreds of domains. In every domain, there are lakhs of industries, right? Okay. So all these industries, every day they are generating the data. They are generating the data. So obviously they started analyzing the importance of the data, recognizing the importance of the data. They started working on the data science and started inventing many tools in your AI. And obviously there is a demand for your data scientist. Now, why should I say, for example, as an animation engineer, why should I become a data scientist? Okay. See, most of your animation technologies, is data science and AI technologies are implemented. Why should, as a sales manager, as a sales and marketing guy, even though I am from non-IT, why should I how can I become a data scientist? See, one thing you should understand that, as I told you, data science is not a one-man game. If you learn only machine learning, if you learn only data analytics, if you are very expertise in your technology, you won't get a job. Why? Because data science is all about how you implement the concepts in your domain, how you implement your concepts in sales and marketing, how you implement your data science in sales and marketing, how you implement your data science in your manufacturing, how you implement your data science in your automobile, banking, okay, HR. It is something related to your domain expertise. Now tell me, we have one candidate from sales and marketing background. He's having 10 years of domain experience, okay, but he don't have knowledge in data science. Suppose if he's having knowledge in data science, he can easily correlate your data science with your sales background and he can become a data scientist. So what I mean to tell is, your data science, okay, is not a single man in your industry. Okay, don't think that whenever you go to any company, for example, Amazon, Microsoft, Flipkart, or any startup company, data science department depends upon n number of departments. Okay, apart from n number of departments, it also depends upon different domains. It can be your manufacturing, automobile, aerospace, it can be your financial domain, insurance domain, healthcare domain, pharmaceutical, okay, social media domain, okay. Let me know n number of domains, whichever XYZ domain. Okay, so it depends, because in the domain only you have the data. Where we implement the technologies of your data science on this data. See, why I need to implement the data science technologies on this data? In order to perform certain analytical engineering operations and predictive engineering operations. The main goal of any data scientist, see, now you become a data scientist in your organization. What you will do generally, you will help any organization to perform analytical operations and predictive operations. Okay, so what is this analytical operations? What is my sales of a company over the next few years? What is my sales of the company in 2025? What is my sales of the company in 2026? What is my sales of the company in 2077? Whether it is increasing or decreasing. This is nothing but your analytical operations. What is my predictive operations? What will be my sales in the future? Whether it will increase or decrease. Okay. Suppose if it is increasing, what should I do? Suppose if it is decreasing, what should I do? Who is my competitors in my future? For example, you are working in Jio. You want to analyze how many subscribers I may lose in my future because of competition of Airtel. That is nothing but your predictive analytics. That is, I'm predicting something with the help of your data science and AI technologies. So that is the main goal. But one thing you should understand, that for analytical purpose and for predictive purpose, you may have data science and technologies. You have many technologies in your data science and AI, like your machine learning technology, deep learning technology, generative AI, LLM technology, all these technologies. But one thing you should understand, these technologies doesn't have any value without data. Without data, it doesn't have any value. Data is like a blood in your data science. Where the data is resided in your domain. What is your domain? Already you are working. It can be your IT domain. It can be your sales domain, animation domain. Okay, it can be a finance domain. Okay, so but where is the gap here? See, why many students, even though they do data science courses, they won't get a proper career. Why? Because, see, for example, we have a candidate here from sales background. Okay, he's very good in sales domain. He can understand all the terminologies in sales domain. He did a data science course, but he's not getting a job. Why? Why? Because he's not impressing the interviewer that he is a data scientist. What interviewer or recruiter will think that he is from sales domain? He doesn't know data science, basically. Suppose if the same guy is correlating the data science with the sales domain, obviously what happens, his resume gets shortlisted and he start getting the interview calls. The recruiters will think that whatever the data science knowledge he has got, he started implementing on the sales domain because he's from sales background, right? Because he's from sales background, he started implementing the data science technologies on the sales domain. So he's fit for your data science projects. Let me train in another domain like financial domain. So this is how your resume gets shortlisted. Unless or until you doesn't correlate your data science technologies with your domain, it is impossible to bridge the gap between your industry and your resume. That is the reason why many students, even my students before joining the classes, I have students from testing background, I have students from SAP background, I have students from the operations background, sales and marketing background, HR background. You talk about n number of backgrounds or domains, I have my students. Before coming to me, the main problem, sir, I did courses in n number of organizations, but I'm not getting a job. My resume is not getting selected. Now, how they become a data scientist? This is how basically what I suggest for everyone, not only doing the courses is important for you. The main thing, the ball game here is you need to correlate your technology, whatever you learned in your Apshala, okay, with your previous domain. That's where I will help you. Okay, that is one thing. So as I told you, your data science is not a single man game. Okay. So as I told you, it depends upon your n number of domains. Okay. So when I talk about a domain, n number of industries, it also depends upon different departments in your existing industry. Don't think, sir, as a data scientist, if I'm expertise in ML, I can go and handle the projects very easily. No. Okay. There are n number of departments will be involved with your data science technology, where as a data scientist, you must be able to understand those technologies also. For example, I'll tell you, okay, you are from sales and marketing department. You are trying to develop one predictive model. What is it? Predictive model. I call as a PM. Predictive model is a model which is used to predict some information. For example, sales information. So as a data scientist, you are trying to develop that predictive model, right? In any MNC company. Now, basically, that predictive model should be able to predict the sales. What is my sales, okay, over next 5 years, right? If it wants to predict the sales, first of all, it should understand the sales information, sales data. Yes or no, right? That is, before understanding the sales information, first of all, you should provide the proper sales data to your predictive model and train this predictive model. Yes or no? This is a machine, sir. It is a hardware. It doesn't know anything, first of all. You should train this machine. Okay. Suppose what is this? A. What is this? B. Then only it can understand what is A, what is B. Otherwise, it cannot understand anything, because these are all robots. It's the machines. As a human being, you should use to train these models. Unless until you train this, you can't understand. It can't understand anything. So in order to train these machine learning models, first of all, you should have the data. Very, very important, sir. Data. That is the reason why, the first and foremost department in your, generally we call data science area. Why? Because this predictive model comes under your AI, because it is predicting something. It is behaving like a human being. It is having some intelligence. How we as a human being has some intelligence to predict something. Similarly, this predictive model or a robot is also having certain intelligence to predict something. So it comes under predictive model, basically AI model, we call it AI technology. Now for this AI technology, you need something called as data science, that is data. The art of dealing with the data is nothing but your data science. There are n number of departments that involve inside your data science. Generally, in your real-time industries, for example, if you go to Flipkart or Amazon or any other companies, startup companies, nowadays, most of the companies, they are storing their data, okay? They are storing, see, for example, your Amazon is collecting the data from apps, right? Where they are storing the data in the clouds, basically. Fine, they can 90% they store on your Azure clouds. Now, nowadays, no one is going to store the data on your databases. Maybe some companies, they, supposed to be stored in the databases. Even that database, for example, here we have candidates from SAP HANA database. Here we have candidates from SQL Server, right? Even that database is also stored on your cloud. Please remember, okay? Suppose if the data is also stored on your database, it is also a cloud-based database. Generally, in general, 99%, most of your industries will store the data in a different, file formats called JSON file formats, PARQ file formats, ORC file formats. These are all, very, very, difficult to understand. When you go to the company, they'll give one JSON file to you. When you open that file, you can't understand what is the data itself. You will run away from the company. You will tell, I don't want data science job. Why? Because the data is whatever the real-time data that is getting collected by the industry, it is highly messy in nature. It is highly messy. Messy means you can't understand, highly irregular, right? Now, if I supply this data directly to the predictive model, or if I supply this data directly to the analytical engine to perform certain analytics, okay, why I'm performing analytics? To gain certain business decisions. What happens? It will give me a wrong results because this data is nothing but raw data. It is unstructured data. See, I'll tell you one thing. You go to vegetables. You go to vegetable market. So whenever you go to vegetable market, you purchase the vegetables. Now tell me one thing. Directly you will bring the vegetables and cook the vegetables, cook the items like sambar, rasam. No, right? What do you do basically? You take the data, you take the vegetables, you clean the vegetables, right? Then you process you cut the vegetables, you process the vegetable, you put in the cooker, you add certain masala, there is certain process involved in preparing your data from raw data to the processed data or unstructured data to the structured data. That process is called your data science. It's called your data science. Okay. So before AI, there is some technology which is related to the data that is nothing but your data science. So as I told you, most of your companies, okay, they store the data, okay, that is, okay, in your different file formats, okay. It can be your, for example, JSON file format. They store the data in your Azure. Because they store the data in your Azure, you should be able to understand what is Azure, what is cloud computing, what is AWS, what is Google Cloud Computing, okay, all these technologies. Fine. So now basically this data, whatever available, I call as a raw data. Why? Because it is a first data that is collected by my company called Amazon, right? And this data cannot be directly used, to train my predictive model or to give to my analytical engine, right? So what should I do to the data? Basically, what I do in real time, I will pull this data by generally, I will use one, pipe called data flow. I'll create something called as data flow. What is this data flow? It will pull this data from the cloud and it will store in something called as lakehouse. What is it? Lakehouse. See, what is this lakehouse? Lakehouse is nothing but some temporary storage areas, okay, where we store this raw data in the form of tables and files. So generally, why we store in lakehouse? Because, see, for example, you are getting into, a very big aircraft, okay, fine. So now tell me, directly you walk and get into aircraft? No, never you do that, right? So generally what you do, you will get into first one small transportation bus, right? Then that bus will get into your runway. Then again you will get down and go to the Airbus. Similarly here also, before I can't directly take the raw data from your cloud and directly give that to your predictive model. Before that, I need to do certain transformations. I need to clean the data. I need to process the data. For that, what I will do, first of all, I will store the data with the help of your data flows inside your lake houses. Lake houses are nothing but staging areas. Basically, we store the data temporarily. Okay. Once we store the data in the lake house, then we start involving in data transformations again by creating certain data pipelines. What is that? Data pipelines. See, what is this data pipelines? Basically, we write some small programming. Nowadays, see, don't worry about programming. Okay. Nowadays, the technology in data science is such a way that most of the tools and technologies, they will write the program by itself. Only that you should be able to understand the program. If you know what is Python, that is more than enough. That and all will take care. So here we write some small programs to transform your data from unstructured to structured data. Then finally, we will load this data into something called as data warehouse, where we store only structured data in the form of tables. Data warehouse is a storage location where we store the data only in the form of table, where we store only structured data. Generally, we won't store unstructured data, okay, where we store only structured data. That is, it's a clean data which is readily available for your analytical engine or predictive engine. Once you store the data, transform the data, unstructured data to the structured data, then and store this structured data into your warehouse, this data can be given to your analytical engine and also can be given to your predictive engine. Okay, what this analytical engine will do? It can perform certain analytics. That is, it can perform certain, it can generate some reports, it can generate some dashboards, okay, for your CEOs, for your vice presidents of the companies, basically, so that on one glance, they can easily understand where is my company business, whether it is going down or going up. Okay, so how can we perform analytical engine operations with the help of different tools like your Power BI, Tableau, okay, QuickSense, all these things. Right now, most 95% industry of your analytical industry is occupied by Microsoft Power BI, 5% is occupied by Tableau, and 1% is occupied by QuickSense. These are all the different competitors. But most of the industries, they'll be asking you the experience on your Microsoft Power BI, which is the topmost tool in the industry, right? For your analytical purpose. Now, what is this predictive engine? Predictive engine is nothing but it is used to predict the data. Okay, we can use this data which is present in your warehouse to train your predictive models. Then when I talk about your predictive models, okay, I do have now let me erase this and all. Now you understand, right? This is nothing but your data flow. How basically how your companies will collect your data. Your companies, you take any company, you may be from IT background, you may be from non-IT background, that's immaterial. Any company will do the same. They will collect the raw data and they store on your cloud based. Okay, they can store the data in the form of files, they can store the data in the form of what you call databases, they can store the data in the form of anywhere, but that will be in the cloud base. Of course, your complete data science development will be on cloud only. Okay, that I'll show you practically. Fine. So once we store the data, that data I'm calling it as a raw data. And what I'm telling, that raw data is a heavy, messy data in nature. It is not useful data. Directly, I can't use for analytics, basically. Or neither I can't do any predictions. So what I do, I involve in data transformations. So what I do, I create certain pipelines, data flows. I load the data into lake houses. Then I create certain pipelines for transformation of data. Then I finally convert your unstructured data to the structured data, then load to the data warehouse. Then once I load the data warehouse, I'll supply this data to your analytical engine and predictive engine, right? So let me just erase this all and let me put it into simple words. Now I have a data in my cloud. Okay, so it is a raw data. So this is a Azure cloud. Generally we call it as Azure blob. Okay, then we have data flow, right? Then we have lake house. Okay, lake house, it's a staging area. Then we have pipeline, data pipeline for transformation, data transformation for unstructured data to the structured data. And finally, we store in the warehouse. This data, okay, is given to our analytical engine, okay, for the purpose of your analytics. And also it is given to your predictive engine for the purpose of your predictions. Now, when I talk about your predictive engine, there are a lot of, this is nothing but your AI, artificial intelligence. There is a lot of tools involved like machine learning, deep learning, generative AI, LLM. Generally, I call it as LLM, large language model. It is nothing but your generative AI. Deep learning is an advanced version of your ML. LLM is your advanced version of your deep learning. Generally, if you want to become a very good generative AI developer, you should have solid understanding of your ML and DL along with your NLP, natural language processing. So these are all AI tools basically. But for these AI tools or for this analytical engine, what is very important? your structured data that is stored in a warehouse. Now tell me, as a data scientist, if I study only ML, can I get a job? No. Why? Because you don't know the process, what is involved. How much process is involved? How many departments are involved? See here, cloud computing department is involved here. Azure Data Factory department is involved here, because in your, so as a data scientist, I'll be taking the role of Azure Data Factory, and I'll be creating certain data flows. Then Lakehouse, who will create the Lakehouse? Your data engineer. As a data scientist, I will take the role of data engineer. I will create, Lakehouses. As a data scientist, I will take the role of data engineer. I will create data pipelines. I will create warehouses. Hope you understood, right? So I should also have SQL knowledge, SQL. Why? Because I should create certain data models. See, when I'm talking about your data, I should also talk about your data models inside your warehouse and lakehouse. How can I create your data models? Okay, fine. So these many departments. So what are the departments? Cloud computing department, then your Azure Data Factory department, then data engineering department, then data warehousing department, then finally analytical engine. It's nothing but DNA. We call DNA, data and analytics. Sometimes it is also called as business analytics, BA. Business analytics is a subset of your data analytics. Generally, if I talk about your data analytics, it's all about analyzing your data with the help of your tools like Power BI. When I talk about your business analytics, it is somewhat more than data analytics. It's a cross-functional department, what you call role. Okay, where as a business analyst, not only I should be good in data analytics, but also I should have a knowledge in all these departments, because it's a cross-functional department. Okay, he will go and talk to machine learning department. He will go and talk to generative AI department. He'll go and talk to data engineering department. Even he should have a very good domain expertise. So the role of business analyst is more than your data analyst generally. So data analyst will sit at one place. He's a pure technical guy, but business analyst is not like that. He should be a leader in data science also. He should have more functional knowledge also than data analytics. Fine. So then basically your AI department is involved. These many departments are involved in order to develop a project in data science. If that is the case, if you know only MLDL, how can you get a job, right? So that is the reason why generally, okay, first of all, here I will prepare you. See, whenever you go to any interview of your data science, okay, in the first part itself, they will filter you. What is that first part? This part. Okay, they will ask many questions. That is nothing but your data science. Okay, they'll ask n number of questions. Okay, then they will come to your machine learning, deep learning, what I may be. So that is the reason why I'll spend maximum time on this part. So I will spend time on your, Azure Data Factory. I'll spend time on your data warehousing. I'll spend time on your lake houses, data pipelines. Okay. Then I'll spend time on your Microsoft Power BI, Microsoft Fabric, which is the latest technology that I'm going to show you now. Okay. So once I make you comfortable regarding your data process, then I will start your machine learning technology, then deep learning technology, then LLM. Okay. So this is how basically you need to study your data science to become a successful data scientist. Otherwise, what happens? You study something, you will become something, and there is no connections between the points, and you never get your career. Fine. So, and one thing you should understand that at every technology, there are a number of roles in your data science. Okay, there are a number of roles in your data science. So starting with your data analytics, then business analytics, machine learning engineer, okay, then deep learning engineer, okay, then NLP engineer, okay, then Gen AI developer. So basically, when you climb your career ladder, generally, if you are 0 years of experience, you don't have any experience, you are a fresh candidate, I suggest you to go for your data analytics or business analyst role. I'm telling you, okay. So once you go as a data analyst or business analyst, okay, generally you will become after some years of experience, you become a senior data analyst, then team lead, then manager, okay, then senior manager, then basically AVP, then VP for data analytics. Okay, this is a stream. They will start with around 10 lakhs package. They end up with around 1 CR package. Fine. I'm talking about data analytics. Okay, but data analytics, it's a ocean. See, data analytics itself is a big ocean. Fine. So then the same thing, the same path will be followed by business analyst also. Okay, the same, only that if you get into your machine learning development, generally, basically a machine learning engineer, okay, will be wholly dedicated to develop certain predictive models on your machine learning project. So generally in your companies, in your real-time companies, okay, they won't expect you only to work on machine learning. They also expect to be an expertise on our deep learning and generative AI. Fine. It's a combination basically. Fine. So they ask you to implement all these technologies in developing predictive models. So once you get into, you can go as a senior data scientist. Okay. Fine. Team leader, then this track, manager. You have, so when I talk about your manager, you have technical manager. Okay. Then functional manager. Fine. So if you are very good in technical, you go as a technical manager, then you can go as an architect, data science architect, where you are core technical expertise. If you are not that much good in technical knowledge, if you are very good in handling the teams and you don't want any coding experience, then you can go for your functional manager level. Then you can choose your career as a functional manager, then AVP in functional manager, then VP in functional manager generally. Fine. So there are hell of roles. There are n number of roles in your data science, which you not worry. But everyone is called as a data scientist. Data scientist. Fine. So a data analyst is also called as a data scientist. A business analyst is also called as a data scientist. Machine learning developer or generative developer is also called as a data scientist. Data scientist is a common noun in the industry. Data scientist is a common noun in the industry. Fine. So this you should understand very clearly before getting into any data science concepts. Any questions here? Any questions till now? Any questions, guys?
No.
Aravind,
No.
Jayant?
No, nothing as of now.
Okay. So now see, many people, from especially, non-IT background, they used to fear whether I should be programmatically good or bad. Okay. See, keeping both IT and non-IT students here, just I will take you a small demo class, okay, on a very powerful and latest technology called Microsoft Fabric. So Microsoft Fabric, it is a very latest technology tool. It's an I can say all-in-one data science solution tool. Okay, solution tool. See, previously, what happens? Previously, okay, maybe like one year back or 2 years back, if you want to develop one data science application, okay. So, for example, you are developing one predictive model for one company. Fine. This data science, predictive model should be, will be dependent on n number of departments. Okay, as I told you, right? Basically, it needs data. When it needs data, it should depend on data warehousing department. Okay, and also this data warehousing depends on your data engineering department. This data engineering depends on Azure Data Factory okay, fine, and cloud computing, right, and database department. So like this, every department will be interrelated to some other department, and your data science department is dependent on all these departments. Without this department, your data science department cannot do work. This was a situation 1 year back or 2 years back. And what is the drawback here? Every department, they used to use different tools and technologies from different vendors. For example, data warehousing, when I talk about data warehousing, there are many ETL tools. What is ETL? Extraction, transformation, loading tools. Like Informatica, Business Objects, Ab Initio, Data Stage, hell lot of tools. Okay. And in integrating this tool with your data science, it's a very difficult task again. Because Informatica tool is a different tool and your data science tool or machine learning algorithm is a different completely tool. Now, how to integrate both? That is a very big task. Similarly, what data engineering, for example, if I want to create one data pipeline, I used to use different tools. And if I want to create certain what you call reports or dashboards, I used to use different tools like Tableau and all, right? So if you want to create certain what you call extract data from your Azure, I used to use different tools. So like this, every department here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 departments. You have 6 departments uses different tools, okay, with different databases to store their data. Hope you understood right what I'm telling. Okay, so just I will show you one very good graphical representation. Let me go to your internet. Okay, just I'm preparing Mr. Riaz ka LinkedIn profile. Basically, he's my student generally, so just now I'm preparing. So he's targeting for manager in data science. See how I'm preparing. See, basically your LinkedIn profile is very, very important actually. Fine. As soon as the recruiters see his resume, he can understand very easily that he's a data science manager with 14 years of experience, right? And see the about data science manager with 14 years of core expertise. This is very important. Okay, and how he creates basically what is his resume, what is his skill sets. So LinkedIn, creating your LinkedIn profile itself is an art actually. 90% of our jobs you get from your LinkedIn's, right? So basically I'm expertise in doing the things. I can help you out. Fine. So basically, let me open, just type Microsoft Fabric. Okay, so just I need some images. Yeah, I do have some image. Yeah, so let me get into this image. Okay, so hope you are able to see this image, right? So now see, because basically in this image you are able to find something called as Synapse Data Science. Don't worry about the Synapse word. We'll discuss later what is Synapse. Okay, so take it as homework. What is Synapse? Wherever you see, there is something called as Synapse Data Science, Synapse Data Engineering, Synapse. What is the Synapse? Take it as homework. Okay, so now, but we have our department called Data Science Department here, right? Now see here, apart from Data Science Department, we have other departments like your Data Engineering Department. Okay, your Data Factory Department. Data Factory means cloud computing generally. Okay, Data Warehousing Department, Real-Time Analytics Department, your Power BI, it's nothing but your DNA, Data and Analytics Department, then Data Activator Department. Nowadays, we got, even it works with your Database Department, SQL Server, okay, SQL Server, Database Department, fine. So generally, if you want to develop certain data science solutions or AI solutions, your Data Science Department must be depending on this many departments, okay. So what challenges your Data Science Department used to face? These departments, okay, they used to use different, okay, tools from different vendors. What is that? Tools from different vendors. So when you are using tools, for example, 6 departments are there, you are using 6 tools from different vendors. Obviously, what happens? Integration is very difficult when you are deploying the data science project. All these tools should be integrated or configured together to work as a system, right? So that was very difficult. Sometimes you may get failure also. The complete deployment or production system get failed, and your costing will increase, and your project gets failed. Your time is lost, and you will be in loss. This is the main challenges what every data science company used to face 1 or 2 years back. Okay, and even they used to use different databases, right? So for example, Azure Data Factory, it is used to maintain separate database, okay, to store its objects. What is objects? For example, data flows. Generally here we create some data flows and we store in the database. Similarly, data engineering also, it is used to use separate database and used to store its objects. What are its objects? Data pipelines, okay, then lake houses, fine, notebooks. All these are different data objects, data engineering objects, what you prepare and store in the database. Similarly, data warehousing also, it stores data in the warehouse in a separate database. Real-time analytics, DNA department, it stores your reports, dashboards in the database. So like this, every department, they used to maintain their own databases. Now, what about the costing? That is one thing. Then what about, for example, in your data science department, I need, okay, the Power BI report. Okay. Also, I need one lake house from your data engineering. Then what I will do, I need to copy and paste here. Yes or no? That is, the data is getting redundant. For example, if you need 10 reports, if you copy all those 10 reports in your data science department, how much times you will repeat the data? So these are all the drawbacks previously what data science companies used to face. Now, with the advent of your Microsoft Fabric, which is I can say all-in-one data platform for the era of AI. See what Microsoft Fabric is telling. I know that data science department will be depending upon n number of departments. Okay, I know it. That is the reason why what I did, I integrated all these departments together. I tied up all these departments together as a one entity, unified platform. Okay. So, and also I'm telling to this department, don't use separate databases. Use only one database, single unified database called OneLake. OneLake is a big repository. It's a big data. Basically, it's a big data where all objects of different departments, whether you develop your machine learning model, deep learning model, LLM model, or whether you generate your reports, dashboards, whether you generate your data pipelines or lake houses, whether you generate your data flows, whatever may be. These are all the objects of your data science only, data science projects. All objects of your data science projects are stored inside in your single unified platform called OneLake. So OneLake is a structure that is supporting all your departments of your data science, Now tell me, as a data scientist, I should have a knowledge of n number of departments like your data engineering, Azure Data Factory, data warehousing, real-time analytics, data analytics. See, real-time analytics is a very, very interesting concept. I can say it is the future of your data science. Why? Because there is two kinds of data in your industry. One is your static data. Another is your dynamic data. See, for example, I'll open one site, okay, for you. For example, this site, okay, NSE Stock Exchange. Now tell me, see, when you open your NSE Stock Exchange, now see here, the data here, every time it will be changing. Now this is Apollo shop is -71. After some time it will be changed. Why? Because the data is here that is populated on this visualizations. Now here it has changed again. Okay, it has changed basically. Okay, so the data that is getting populated in this visualization is dynamic in nature. It is real time in nature. It is coming from the outside world basically. So that is it is related to something like time and date. You know, it is always it is changing with respect to time. For example, you take your stock market data like this, you take your weather data, you take your sensor data, all these data, okay, they will be changing dynamically with respect to time. Then how can I capture the data with the help of technology called KQL database? This is nothing but your real-time analytics technology, real-time analytics, sometimes we call it as real-time business intelligence. Very, very important, where we work with your KQL database. Some students are already here from database technologies. I don't know whether you heard about this. KQL is nothing but KQL database is nothing but your Kusto query language database. Where we use KQL language to query the data from your database. This KQL database is used to store your data, real-time data, not static data, real-time that is associated with your timestamp. Okay, it's a complete different technology where we will cover in depth. If you mention in your resume all these technologies, 100% you will be selected as a data scientist, no doubt in that. Okay, so see, your success ratio depends upon how much you are real time, how much you are good in your real time. Okay, it's all about that. You know, it's not just you should copy something and from the internet and go to the interview, right? So it's all about how you get success in your interview. It's all about your real time. If you talk more on your real time stuff, obviously the recruiters, or interviewer get faith on you, and basically they start working on your profile, right? So this is how basically we have. So like this. So when I talk about your Microsoft, for example, I will just make you to open your Microsoft tool. Okay. So for example, I told you, right, most of the tools are your data science are cloud-based tool. If I know the URL, I can open your tool. For example, I am opening your my app dot Microsoft. Let me come out of your incognito mode. Let me open your normal mode. Okay. So I think this is also incognito mode. Okay, let me just 1 minute. So yeah. So app.fabric.microsoft.com. That's it. Okay, I'm not installing anything. So basically, I'm opening your Microsoft Fabric application basically on the cloud generally. Okay, so now basically, generally, don't worry about all these things. What I'm doing now, I want to show you how basically, you can start working on your what you call n number of things, without even programming knowledge. Okay, so for example, let me get into your work. Just don't worry about what I'm doing here. Okay, so this is nothing but your lake house. Okay, so let me get into. I told you, right, lake house is nothing but a staging areas, right? Staging areas where you store in your database. See, basically how it represents your Microsoft Fabric. Okay, so this is a lake house. This is a symbol, and this is your SQL database. Okay, so where you store your data. Fine. So basically everything is touch technology, drag and drop technology. Okay, don't have to worry about your program itself. Just click on your lakehouse. Just 1 minute. Just click on your lakehouse. Okay, so don't worry about what I'm doing. Fine. So just here now, see here, basically you are able to store the data in the form of tables and files. So now we have two tables. Okay, so sales table and sensor table. And also we are able to store the data in the form of files also. So see here, files. So we have the data is getting loaded. This is a sales table. This is your sensor table. Okay. So basically we can store the data in the form of files. See here, this is a CSV file. This is your JSON file. Okay. If you want to open a JSON file, you can just preview, see how it appears. This is how basically your real-time data gets stored in your cloud-based service generally. Okay. So even I can't understand what is this properly, right? Somewhat CSV, somewhat better than this, right? So like this, we have ORC, okay? So ParQ, fine. So like this, we can store the data in your warehouse. For example, if you want to query the data, I want to write some SQL queries, okay? So let me get into this. Basically, I want to write some SQL queries on a table, okay? I want to create some reports, okay? So generally what I do, okay, I need to write a query, right? Okay, but I'm not, that much good in query. So what I do, I select this table. Okay, see here how these tools, very intelligent tools basically. So it itself is suggesting, do you want to select top 100 rows in your table? Yes, I want to select. You want to write a select query? Click on it. That's it. It writes a query for you. See here, I didn't write any SQL query, SQL program. Okay, it has written by its own. Okay, I didn't write anything, but I should be able to understand what is SQL. Yes or no? I should be able to understand the program. That's what we will train you. So one thing you should understand, that data scientist is not a programmer. He's not a developer. He is a scientist. Okay, should have very good analytical capabilities. You should have very good analytical thinking. You should, if you are spending more time only on your programming, you will become a developer. Never you become a data scientist, right? So basically, this is how. That is the reason why the vision of your Microsoft, the vision of your NVIDIA, all these companies, they are focusing on no-code technologies. What is no-code? This is nothing but your no-code. Okay. Without any coding knowledge, still I'm able to do a number of things. Even I can show you in future, I can write a complex programs on your PySpark, Scala, Java, everything on your Fabric without any coding knowledge. Fine. So this is how I can develop, write the programs. Okay. So basically I can do the things. Now basically, if you want, I can develop a report. See, this is the top 100 reports I can develop. So this is the visualization. When I click your visualization, automatically, your Power BI gets triggered. This is analytical engine gets triggered here. Okay, to develop your reports or visualizations. Okay, now see here, your data gets loaded. I can develop your reports like this. I can start analyzing the data and create some reports. Customer ID. Okay, so with respect to whatever the client requirements is, with respect to the total price. Okay, so like this, all reports I can create. I can save this as a report. It's nothing but your analytical, analytics, basically what we can perform in your data science. Similarly, we can do n number of predictions. Okay, so in your fabric, see, for example, if you want to develop a machine learning model, let me cancel out this. I can develop your machine learning model. Okay, so I can get into your what you called I'll show you, basically, like okay, now you are able to see something called as okay, so ML model, right? So basically you can create your own ML models, machine learning models. You can train them, you can deploy them on your clouds. Okay, you can predict, you can give some predictive solutions to the companies. Hope you understood, right? So that is, it is all-in-one technology where you can start working on n number of things, basically, right? Okay, not only machine learning models, you can create n number. These are all data pipelines, data flow gen to event streams. These are all different elements that are interrelated with each other in your data science projects. Hope you understood what I'm telling, right? Okay, so this is all about your data science and artificial intelligence. Okay, so in a practical way, not in a theoretical way, in a practical way, fine. And there are a number of things to learn. So step by step, you should get into. So generally, what I will do here, initially I will focus, mostly on your data analytics. Okay, when I call it, it's something about your, I told you, right, business and data analytics more are same. Okay, then focus on your Microsoft Power BI, then Fabric. Okay, very, very important. Then data engineering concepts, data warehousing concepts, right? Your database, generally I go through SQL. Okay, SQL Server, then I teach you SQL. Okay, then basically we talk about your Power Automate. It is one of the automation tool, okay, to automate your workflows in your data science. Then we talk about your Alteryx. Okay, Alteryx is also very best platform. Okay, so in your data science. Then we give a glimpse of your Tableau also. Tableau is an old tool, but however, you should have some knowledge on Tableau. Okay, so like this, basically we focus on all this technology initially. Okay, so this is called as one skill set. What is that? Skill set. With this skill sets itself, you can become a data scientist. No need to wait. Okay, you start involving in the real-time project. Okay, so you start getting into your what you called resume restructuring, right? So I'll show you some. Still, I have some couple of time now. I'll show you how we involve in resume restructuring, how we involving in real-time projects. Okay, so that you get a glimpse. Then parallelly, once we done this, we'll also start your machine learning. Then machine learning development, MLOps. Once you are done with this, again we go to your deep learning plus NLP. Then we go to your generative AI. Fine. This is how basically we give the things for you, and we make you to industry perfect. Basically, So see, there are sequence of steps in your career transformation. So one thing, you should get a subject matter expert. You should be a subject matter expert. Very, very important. This is the first step. Then go for certifications. What is that? Certifications. See, generally we always recommend, even whenever I'm doing interview in Wipro, whenever I'm doing interview in Microsoft, in n number of companies, people used to come with degree certificates in data science. People used to come with n number of IIT certificates, because see, we won't recognize the certifications generally. So that is for your portfolio. But we recognize Microsoft. Okay, fine. We recognize Databricks, NVIDIA. Okay, so NVIDIA. See, IBM, basically, maybe they are technology players, but it is not that much valued. IBM still in AI space, still they are not that much competing with the Microsoft. Okay, so these companies are doing well. Okay, they have many good products. For example, you take Microsoft Fabric. If you are getting certified by Microsoft itself, there is a great idea, right? It's a great value. So take certifications, then involve in real-time projects. That is startup companies. See, basically, I recommend you n number of startups here. Okay, startups. Even directly, I can recommend you n number of because I work with around 100 startups. Okay, in India and pan India. Okay, so directly I can recommend you to work on your startup company projects, where they will give an opportunity to work on their projects. That is very, very important for your resume. Then get into your resume restructuring. Okay, sit with us. I will be one of the panel member. Data scientist will be one of the panel members. We will sit and we can help you in restructuring your resume, right? This is very important. Okay, where we correlate your previous resume, all these things. If you have any gaps, also it should be. Remember one thing: if you have one day gap, also your resume will not be shortlisted. So how to cover that gap? Okay, all these things will guide you basically. Then basically you go to the market live. Okay, 100% you will basically, many students, my students, they are happily getting selected. They are attending the interview calls. Okay, they are analyzing where they are mistake. Okay, see, it's a learning process basically, right? See, not only, if not one company, you get another company, because there are lakhs of data science company. You should be very sportive in this manner, and you should learn the things. If you're not selecting in one company, you should not get demotivated. Generally, I suggest students, as soon as you finish your interview process, please take pen and paper and write the questions what they are asking. Okay, and analyze after 7 interviews. Now, all those 7 companies would have been asked the same questions, right? So that is how basically, after attending 7 interviews, 100% you will get a job in 8th interview or 9th interview. Why? Because you are a successful, experienced failure guy, right? The more failure you have, the better success you are in. Hope you are able to understand, right? So that is the reason why, you need to focus the process like this. If you want a very good career transformation, okay, 100% you get a very good career transformation, no doubt about that. And and let me share you some process, basically how we restructure your resume. And basically, maybe the data is a bit confidential, but I will just run through it. Okay, so just give me some time. Give me some time, I'll be sharing my screen again. Okay, so I do have a couple of sessions. How can we share your resume restructuring? Okay. Yeah, hope are you able to see my screen? Yeah. So basically, I have collected some resume restructuring sessions. Let me open it for you. Okay, so basically, just I won't basically play, because there is some sensitive information here. Okay, but I will help you to pass over. And it's gold. So generally, what we do, for example, this is one of our student. Okay, fine. She's from financial background. Basically, she's trying to explain her previous domain. Okay, project, basically how the things are going on. Then we understand the project. Then she involved in a number of real-time projects in Apshala. Then we correlate her projects with your present projects and make her resume prepared ready. So basically, she's trying to explain her project, and we are trying to help. How can we correlate all these things? So just I'll be skipping very fastly because of sensitive information. Vendor name. So it's Goldfield Telecom vendor name. This is from the first row. I don't remember, but yeah. So I started my career as a business analyst. Then I moved to R1 RCM. It was a healthcare company. And there I worked as a senior analyst with US Healthcare. So warehouse. So generally, Mr. Ludwig has taught us about data warehouse. Okay. So generally, he's Mr. Mukul. Okay, he's working as a product manager. Generally, he's explaining his profile for us, and we are trying to restructure his profile and understanding his profile. How can we do better? Okay, already now he's in market. Okay, yeah. One late in data warehouse. Okay. So then my side, my suggestion is, as you mentioned, it's like a product manager. So you can add a couple of projects in Python along with SQL or even with some other database server.
Okay. If you go for this role, definitely they will ask some project, some analysis. I did analysis, though I did not do the hands-on.
So he's Mr. Surya. He's my student. He works as a test lead in Bank of America. The main problem with him now, his resume got never shortlisted before Apshala. Okay, once he started attending my training, especially, and started correlating the resume. Okay, so he's getting 4 to 5 entry calls every day. Fine, yeah, and he got selected as a data scientist again.
I don't have Power BI or Tableau installed on my work machine, so then that's impossible to get. We will be able to install only softwares which solution which I am seeking is getting the resume shortlisted and doing a
So he's requesting my resume should get shortlisted and all, right? Yeah.
Successful transition. And assistant, like creating a chatbot using Watson Assistant. So this type of things I used to do.
So he's from edutech industry. Basically, he's trying to share his resume like this. We will make you to involve in resume restructuring process. That is very, very important. We understand your profile and we involve in resume restructuring process. That is a ball game here. Okay. Without that, never your resume gets shortlisted in the industry. Please take it granted. Okay. Now, basically, we uploaded one recorded session of startup projects in your YouTube channel itself, Apshala YouTube channel, where you can get into. So generally, how depth we make you to understand the projects in Apshala. Okay, we open the code. See, I'll tell you one thing. The first round of your interview is a screening round. The second round, screening round means whether your resume is as per your job description or not. Generally, what we do, as soon as we get your job description to your Apshala, okay, immediately what they will do, they will start restructuring your resume as per the job description. Okay. So because some technologies will be missed, we will put the technology again, we'll train you on that. Fine. So that your resume must be shortlisted, right? Suppose sometimes HR itself will ask us to do that actually. Fine. So because that's how industry is, right? Then second round is all about your technical round. How much good you are technical, right? Suppose if you are certifications, you are doing some certifications, your 50% technical round is easy. Because see, if you are certified by Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Databricks now, they will think that you are very good in subject matter expert, right? So they will ask only 10 questions, 20 questions, they will select you in the second round. Third round is very important, where they will focus on your projects. That is very, very important. They will ask you, they will basically, ask many questions on your project. They will check your confidence on your project, how you are correlating your projects with the previous experience. Okay. Basically, they may ask you to give one scenario. They give one scenario, they will ask you to explain the project. So unless or until you work on a project like this, what we are explaining. So generally we take one project ka 4 hours of time to explain the complete project. And this project is not an ordinary project. It is a, handmade crafted projects. These are all, available in your startup companies, basically. So obviously, there is no plagiarism. It is not repeated in your Google. Obviously, your resume gets shortlisted. And basically, when you involve in projects like this, what happens, your confidence level of explaining the projects will be very high. Generally, most of the interviewers will see your confidence level. Okay, that then only they will understand whether you are real time or fake. So that is the reason why we take more time on the project sessions. Okay, so simply learning the subject, that is not important here. You need to put more work on your project actually. So we'll take more time on your projects. One project we will give for 4 hours generally. And see, these projects are not capstone projects. Capstone projects are different. They are academic projects. That and all you can add to your GitHub and LinkedIn profile or your website, whatever may be, right? But these are projects which you are going to put in your resume. Hope you understood what I'm telling, right? So this is how basically not only job description, roles and responsibilities, you should be able to understand and assimilate the projects. Okay.
Going to do the analysis and codes.
See here, basically we'll be giving like this project domain name, description,
we can
features.
use home equity data set. So this is already available in Kaggle. Home equity data set. Example,
So these are data sets.
A debit consolidation or home improvement. So 5% is missing for some column. These are right. So how many customers are asking for home improvement? and हमने कर
So like this, basically, with the
Okay.
help of your code, with help of your visualizations, this is called complete project file, what we share with you. Okay. So you spend some time on your projects, you become confident, then you start adapting the industry, right? So this is how basically will help you in doing your career transition from your present industry to the data science industry. Fine. This is the way you should do. Fine. So any questions here? So this is about your demo class today. Hope you enjoyed your session and you got some meaningful insights of your data science, how to become a data scientist, where to start, where to end, what to study, what not to study, okay, how to plan your career, okay. And see, a minimum 6 months period is more than enough to become a data science and data scientist. And okay, so the main thing, as I told, the ball game is your restructuring of a resume and ball game is your projects. These are very, very important, okay. And attending mock interviews, okay, and go on attending the company interviews, okay. If not one company, you get other company, fine. No need to worry about that, fine. So there are lakhs of companies, lakhs of interviews will be happening, fine. So you will get selected, if not one company, other company. That is not a problem. So this is about your all about your data science career. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the session. Any questions till now? Aravind, Deep, Deba, Jayant, Mukul, Praveena, Rahul.
Not really. Just want to confirm that the projects that will be involved into, are they going to be real-time projects that's running under a startup, or
Yes.
just this
Yes.
capstone project that's like where the data is found in Kaggle and then we'll be working on it?
Yeah, we give around 50 capstone projects to build your portfolio. Capstone projects are basically, even you can find in Kaggle or wherever, it's already available in your internet.
Correct.
Before getting into your real-time projects, in startup projects, capstone projects will act as a bridge. Okay. So this is very important. Okay. So then we go for your real-time projects. So real-time projects, see, for example, okay, one of my student, he has started his own company called EZ Sync. Okay. So this is his company. His name is basically, Abhinay. You can see him. Okay. So he's Mr. Abhinay. Okay. He's my student. Okay. So let me open. Okay. So basically, these guys, they are focusing on interview-based products. See, basically nowadays, most of the recruitment is happening with the help of AI-based robots. How a robot can perform an interview for a candidate like you, right? So that is the reason why they kept a caption called India's first AI interviewer, right? So they are using a technology, okay, generative AI technology, machine learning technology, deep learning technology, all these things basically. And basically successfully, we have implemented this project in all IITs. So basically in most of IITs, most of the companies, they do screening, right? So we went to IITs, we went to many companies, okay, many universities also. Basically this product is successful. Most of the even Infosys or even they recognized this product. It's very good. Basically it is reducing our task of screening the students, because there are a hell lot of students. We want to screen the students, okay, with the help of this AI based tool. So where we implement all these basically technologies of your deep learning, generative AI, artificial intelligence, okay. So you will get directly we will make you to involve in this project, right? So this is a real-time client startup project basically, right? So once you get into, before getting into that, we use some capstone projects. Hope you understood, right? So directly, if you get into real-time projects, you get tensed actually. So we give some capstone projects, will make you comfortable. Then we'll get into the real-time projects. So real-time projects directly, even myself, we have a team of 10 or 20. Okay, so basically they will come and they will guide you how to do the project, what is the requirements, what is the methodology they use, what kind of, I forgot to tell you, even we'll train you here on data science project management. That is very, very important. Okay. So without data science project management, okay, you can't even do the project, right? So what strategy you follow to do your projects, all these things we'll be discussing, and we'll be sharing the document, and we'll make comfortable that you learn the real-time stuff actually. Fine. Hope you understood, right? So once you learn the real-time stuff, then only we correlate your resume. Fine. Yeah, then only we correlate your resume, right? Otherwise, we won't correlate your resume. Hope you understood, right? What I'm saying?
Yes, yes. Just again, any promising number of real-time projects for the course?
We view endless number of, we work with a number of companies like this, okay? Thousands of companies, whichever you want, 1,000 projects also we can do. See, and also what is the one best thing here? What I, for example, you can start working in like these companies from the 6th month as a data science consultant, right? And you can continue with them till you get your job as a data scientist, right? See, for example, you got a day, after attending 30 interviews, to attend 30 interviews, you get minimum 2 months of time, okay? Till 2 months of time, you can be with them, you can start working on the project, not only this project, a number of projects, even they are into legal system, even they are into social media products, right? Like this, you can involve in a number of projects. There is no limitation, basically. Even these are all startup companies, right? They need funding. See, huge lot of funding to do all these things. So if they hire data scientists from original, if they hire me, they should pay lakhs of amount to me, right? So otherwise I won't work, basically. But you need data, you need projects, right? You are also a data scientist after 6 months. 100% you will also be involving in that. Even they need you, right? If you are doing well in the training, they need your intelligence also, right? So obviously, it's a win-to-win situation. They prefer you, and you can also work in these companies as a data scientist, okay, remotely, not physically. Okay, if you want to work physically also, it's possible, okay, but remote is always best because most of the people are working here. Okay, so then directly you can, once you get your job as an MNC company, then you can shift there also. You can showcase these companies directly in your resume also, fine. Even we can help you to get some recommendation letters from these guys, and all these things, basically. Yeah. Okay, fine.
How much AI stuffs are included in these things?
Sorry, Arvind.
How much AI stuffs are included in data science, like basic or intermediate or advanced?
We start from basic. We think that you don't know anything about AI and data science.
Okay.
Even you
Okay.
don't know about Python. Nothing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You are a layman to data science. Like that,
Yes.
we'll start.
Okay. Fine. Fine.
Suppose
And
if a student is coming from intermediate background, that is a revision for them.
yes. Okay. And like as he has the real-time project, until we get the MNCs companies, you will be giving real-time project. That's
Yes,
what you meant,
yes,
right?
yes.
How much time you take to get MNCs?
Basically,
MNC
if you attend 5 interviews very seriously, 6th or 7th interview will get cleared. So
Okay.
every day, you get 1 or 2 calls, no doubt. So maximum 1 month time, most of the students. Once they get live now, most of the students
Okay.
get 1 month. Yeah.
Okay, like after 6+1, you are telling, right?
Yeah. Maximum. Because see,
Okay.
the outside market is very demand. Okay. So as soon as you go to the social media, recruiters will run behind you. If your resume is very good, if your projects are very good, okay, fastly, fatafat, you start getting the calls, right? So,
Yes.
so whenever opportunity is knocking your door, you should utilize, right?
Okay. Okay, got it. Got it.
So any other questions? Dev, Jayant, Mukesh, Pravina, Rahul, and any other guys?
Nothing from my end.
I'm
as
good.
well.
I'm good. Okay.
Yeah,
Great,
I'm
great.
good as well.
Fine, guys. Thank you so much. So basically, I'll be going to start a batch within this month. So today is 22nd. So mostly within 30th, mostly on 30th, I may be going to start a batch. Okay. So if you are really interested, you can just reserve your. You can talk to the counselors. Okay. You can reserve your seat. For this upcoming batch. Okay. So that I advise you not to get a friction with your career, right? Career should be very smooth, right? And it should be a bit fast. And I'll tell you one thing. Today's world is very competitive world, right? Every day you are losing something in your career, right? So every day we don't know what happens tomorrow, right? So if you start upskilling, at least you can tell to your manager or to your inside company that I know something on data science and AI. They respect you. Your present job is also secure, and you are making your future job also secure, right? So this is how, keeping in the competition in mind. Okay, so be upskill yourself as soon as possible without wasting your time. Okay, and what do you can negotiate with the counselors. You can enroll for the batch. Okay, so and see you in the next upcoming batch within 30 years. So mostly I'll be starting the batch by 30th. Okay, if you get some couple of students. Okay, so and generally, we won't encourage more than 10 students per batch. Okay, so and so try to reserve your seats and start upskilling immediately as soon as possible, and give me 2 months of time. Okay, in the 3rd month I will start making to get a calls as data science. Even I won't make you to wait till 6 months. From the 3rd month itself you can be in the market, start attending the interview calls. So my vision is within 6 months you should get some job in your data science career, right? So this is my vision. Only just 2 months I need your time. Okay, then from the 3rd month I'll give my time to you, fine, on your projects. Fine, guys. Thank you so much for attending this beautiful session. Okay, so
Thank you.
I ask you to coordinate with your counselors for the further session tomorrow and book your seat for the upcoming batch on 30th. Thank you so much. Bye bye. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night.